Alright, hey guys. So, this next video is going to be a real important subject that, really think I ought to get to. And that's going to be... Do you feel as if you've never truly loved your lovers? And, I'm saying it like this because I think it's an issue that really needs to be addressed here. And that is, I think most humans, or quite a lot of humans, have never truly loved their lovers. I think a lot of humans, and pay attention to the words I'm using here. I think a lot of humans have, often entered into relationships purely thinking that, I'm going to be a part of this relationship and, I needed to be in a relationship, I'm getting older, or, I want people to see me in a relationship, I don't want people to be coming up to me all the time going, why aren't you with someone, or something like that. So I need to be with a relationship or someone. Or, I just want love and affection or company or, whatever. You want some ass or something, right? And so, a lot of humans, they get into a relationship for a variety of reasons. And usually they find someone, and, they might find them doing a little bit of this or doing a little bit of that. They might find them, it's raining. They might find them, like, at a club or, at a beach, at a mall, at a movie theater. They were introduced by friends at college, at their job, or something like that, right? Maybe on the internet, right? So they find this person, and, they hit it off, but it's never really special. And that's one thing that, they always lie to themselves about. It's never really special. They never really have that just super awesome chemistry that they always tell you about in those Disney stories or whatever. Like, love at first sight, or, the first time you kiss or, do other things with the person. It just is this near magical experience or whatever. But when you're with your partner, it doesn't feel like that. It never felt like that. Not even the first time did it feel like that. And you're kind of lying to yourself, and you go, well, maybe it isn't supposed to feel like that, or that's just some Walt Disney bullcrap. Which, I can forgive you for saying, because, Walt Disney is a heavy programmer. But, you just think, oh, that's some fairy tale bullcrap. The real world isn't like that, yada, yada, yada. And you make all of these excuses for being with a person, a man or a woman, that you might kind of like, and you might somewhat be attracted to, but you don't truly love, right? There's enough of attraction there, and you go, well, I may as well settle, and, it's better than being alone, like when you have sex with the person, it's not like the sex is ever really great. It's just, you have sex with the person, and you think, well, this is better than masturbating. It's better than being alone. And, it kind of is. It's kind of an improvement over masturbation, I guess. So, because it's kind of better, than just, being by yourself or whatever. You just, even though it's not great or anything like that, you just put up with the person. And I certainly, I'm not throwing stones here. I'm just describing a common phenomena that really occurs to, I think, most humans nowadays. And it's occurred to me too. Had a girlfriend for 2 years, and, when we would get with each other, it wouldn't be like, oh, it's so great, it's so special. It would just be like, well, it's better than masturbating. It's better than being alone. But deep down, there was still something in me that I just didn't like. Like, it was very, very weird, because, like, it would be, after messing with her, I'd drive off, and, like, I kind of spit a little bit, like, subconsciously, I was kind of maybe disgusted with her, maybe disgusted with myself, but I didn't really know why. But I just kept doing it because I thought, well, better this than being alone. But it turns out there really was a reason for me being disgusted with it, disgusted with her and myself for messing with her, and just, all of that in general. There was a reason for me being disgusted like that. And, I'm about to come up to that reason. You see, if you're a human, all they've really ever told you in life, in school, in the media, in all these sort of things, is that all people, we're just all human, we're just all trying to figure it out, yada, yada, yada. Yada, yada, yada. We're just all human. We're just all trying to figure it out. We're just all trying to make it work. We're all the same. All these different things that, on the surface do sound really nice. But there's room for error. That's one thing that I think you always have to understand about this kind of thing. There's room for error. And that room for error in all of this understanding that we're all just humans is that, no, actually, we're not all just humans. You see, there are really two species of man that exist upon the earth, more or less. And, it's kind of alluded to this in secret when they give you a word like mankind. Well, what does mankind mean? Mankind means the different kinds of men, okay? And some of you people are going to just be thinking, well, that just refers to like race or something like that. But no. The meaning is much more deeper and occultic than that, okay? When it refers to human beings and mankind, as far as my understanding goes, human beings refers to human beings refer to the people who were made by God, which is men and women, male and female humans, right? But mankind, that refers to a separate group of people. You see, some people are descended from people who were made by God. Some people, they're descended from people who were made by a being who wasn't God. And, if you're Christian, you're gonna be kind of hip to this if you're smart on the whole. That's a weird... someone's calling me. whatever. If you're Christian, you're going to be hip to this on this kind of wheat and the tares thing. And if you're not Christian, but maybe a conspiracy theorist, you're going to be kind of into this, like, you know, reptilian thing. And, you know, some people call them reptilians and some call them archons, shapeshifters. You know, whether or not you're religious or you're non-religious, people call these people who are not made by God many, many different names, okay? But the thing about it is, these many, many different names that they call these people, they all refer to the same thing, but there's also an even deeper secret. These people are not just the elite. See, that's the thing that, like, David Icke and people like that will kind of have you believe. They'll have you believe that these people who are not truly human are just the 1%. But no, man. They are much, much more than that in society. They're basically like, you know... I don't really know how numerous they are. All I can say is from looking and examining the evidence for the last over a year and a half, I would have to conclude that these non-humans are actually over 90% of the population, and that they're basically, through a variety of methods, waging a genocidal war against what remains of real humans. And there aren't too many of them left. So basically you're wondering, well, how can I tell? How do I know? Well, there is a way I can tell. There is a way I can know. And I can have a forensic science level understanding of how to differentiate between real humans and these non-human creatures. And that is, these non-human creatures have two traits about them that really differentiate themselves with real humans. One is they are transsexual, or better yet, they are androgynous, which is to say they have their bodies are basically two sexes in one, right? That's one. And the other is these things have abnormal blinking. You know, I've heard it said a real human might blink maybe once every 10 seconds or something like that. Something like that. And basically most of these non-humans will blink, you know, once every 5 seconds or more. Or sometimes they'll just not blink at all, right? One of the two. Like, if you want an example, Tariq Nasheed doesn't blink at all, okay? And then someone like, type in Bill Paxman, alright? From the Bill Paxman show. And just type in, like, Bill Paxman blinking. And the guy blinks, sometimes he blinks like once every, you know... He blinks like twice every second sometimes. He blinks like 120 times a second sometimes. A minute. Sometimes. And that's not something an actual human should do, okay? If you're a real human watching my video, you are not transsexual or androgynous. You are a real cisgendered person, and you don't blink too much or too little. You probably blink between, you know... Let's say a real human blinks like 10 times a minute. So you probably blink close to 10 times a minute, plus or minus, you know, 4 blinks or something like that, okay? But you don't blink, you know, freaking once every 5 seconds or more, and you don't blink like only once every 30 seconds or some shit like that, okay? So, yeah. Basically, you can tell what I'm saying because, I mean, if you have time to really kind of check me out with this video. I ain't doing this because I think it's cool. The hat back. Check my check my forehead. Okay, my forehead slopes at an angle. All right. I have a brow ridge over my eyes. My eyeballs are set back. I have these strong, solid cheekbones that puff out my face. My face is broad, okay? I have vertical lines in my lips. You can draw a horizontal line with my chin, because my chin is spread out. It doesn't come to a point like a woman's chin should. My jawline, let me navigate these streets, cause my jawline is more like a U and less like a V. A woman will have a jawline that's more like a V. My nose is broad. My hands, my ring finger is longer than my trigger finger, okay? All of these traits indicate that I'm an actual, real, cis male, I guess you would call it. And you hear that term being thrown around a lot. But most of the people who say, like, I'm a cis male and blah, 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 they're not actual cis males, okay? Real men who are actually males are very rare. Most males are actually females, most men are actually females, okay? And what I mean by that is they may look like a man and present themselves as a man, but their eyes are close together. Like, my eyes are spread apart, see? Their eyes would be close together. They wouldn't have a brow ridge. They wouldn't have a sloping forehead. They would have a forehead with curvature. They'd have no brow ridge. They would have feminine hands, feminine facial features all around. I go more in depth on this in my first video, okay? But, I've kind of really hit some of the major points, even with this video. So anyway, getting back to the subject, most humans actually who are like cisgendered, they actually end up with these non-cisgendered people. They end up with these people who are actually androgynous or transsexual. They are two sexes in one body. They are the opposite sex of what they portray. They may look like a man, but they're actually a female. They may look like a female, but they're actually a man, right? Most humans, they live and they live and they have sex with, they marry, they have kids with these things. But these things aren't actually human. To be a human, you have to be cisgendered, as far as I can tell. And that's a real human with a soul that was made by God. But these things, these transgendered things, as far as I can tell, they are not reptilians from outer space, okay? The whole outer space thing is a giant lie. You may have heard that. It's true. But they do shapeshift. They can shapeshift and shit like that. Well, what's going on? They are demons and fallen angels in a human-like body that isn't quite human. And that gets us back to the mankind thing. They're kind of like man, but they're not really man, okay? They're kind of like humans, but they're not really humans. They're a different type of human. They are demons and fallen angels in like transsexual bodies. Now, a fallen angel is what it sounds like. An angel that fell from heaven when it fought, with Lucifer and what have you. And a demon is basically a hybrid between a human and a fallen angel. Well, anyway, most humans, they end up having sex with these things. And that is why your relationships are so devoid of actual love and compassion. Because when you're fucking these things, and it's not making love, it's just fucking. When you're fucking these things, you're not being with a person who's an actual human made by God. You're just doing this with a demon or a fallen angel who really deep down wants to see you burn in hell. Okay? And they want to day by day drain your soul until eventually your soul just comes out of your body, basically, and you get replaced, I should say, by a demon or a fallen angel who knows you. They know all of your tricks and all of your, mannerisms. They've been with you since the day you were born. And when your soul gets at a low enough point, they get to replace you and become you, okay? And that's what's happened to a lot of people in this world. They used to be human, but their souls got so negative that that a demon or a fallen angel was allowed to basically replace them. And that's where this whole cloning thing comes from, okay? And, this is the reason why so many people have had lovers, but they've never had love. It's because they've never actually been with a real human, myself included, okay? They've never... I'm pretty sure she wasn't human. They've never actually been with a real human. They've probably only been with these demons and fallen angels in transsexual bodies who pretend to be human, but they are not actually human. They're just these, they're in transsexual bodies. I think the bodies are artificially made. They're in these artificially made bodies, and, they're demons and fallen angels. They hate humans, and even if they might kind of like you for real, they still follow Satan as a commander. And so what I mean by that is, even if they do kind of like you and would kind of prefer to just keep you around, basically Satan's their commander, and if Satan gives the order for them to stab you in the back, that's what they gotta do, okay? And so, a lot of real human women, they've never been with a real human man, and so they get with all these men, but they're really just demons and fallen angels pretending to be men, and they screw them around, and the women, they think all men are bad and this and that, and it leads them down a really dark path. And it's the same thing for a lot of the men. A lot of the men, here's the thing with the women. With the women, a lot of the men who are really doing good in this world, guess what they are? They're not real human men. They're fallen angels pretending to be men. So a lot of the men who are really doing, good in the world, and they got it going on financially at least, they are fallen angels pretending to be men, okay? And, they're your doctors, they're your lawyers, and, 5, 10, 20 more years ago, you may have had a larger minority of real human men who were doing that stuff, but by 2017 now, the real human men who've been doing that kind of stuff, they've probably all been turned into clones. Just being real with you, they've probably all been turned into clones at this point. So you have these, human women, they're trained to go after these successful men. Well, most of these successful men are not actual men. They're fallen angels. And on the flip side, you have these men, real human women, from all I can tell, are not that slutty. I mean, I'm not saying they're virgins or they're total virgins or whatever, but real human women, for the most part, are not really that slutty, okay? They're a little slutty. They're not that slutty, really. I mean, they're actually rather prude, okay? Like I said, they may not be virgins, but this whole super slut thing that you think women are, the women who are into that shit, they're not actual human women. That's what I'm trying to tell you, okay? They are just these fucking, you know. So guys, you know, the real human women, they're not putting out. The real human women, a lot of times they're going after these fallen angel guys, especially because, you know, these fallen angel guys, they're part female. And so, you know, part of that might be, you know, a lot of your pretty boys. Boys aren't meant to be pretty. Men aren't meant to be pretty, okay? So a lot of these pretty boy types, like if he's a pretty boy who's pretty because he's actually a female and he makes a lot of money, I mean, it seems just to be easier for women to go gay than men. So you have a woman who, she sees this man and he's kind of feminine, but she's already somewhat attracted to the feminine, so it, you know, it's not that big of a deal. And also, he makes a lot of money, and he's a pretty boy, and he's probably pretty popular, and all this shit. Your standard high school quarterback type of guy. And so she goes with him. And so if you're a real man, you see your real human women a lot of times going for that. And also these trannies, they can be the pretty boys, but they can also be the meatheads too. So it goes either or. So you see the women, they go for things like that, who aren't even real human males, because real human males are actually they're pretty calm, they're pretty chill. They don't really wow it out like that for the most part. That's true about all real humans. They don't really wow it out, okay? I mean, as far as I can tell. So if you're... Yeah, I can get him. So if you're, you know, a real human man, and if you're a real human man and you see your women going for things like that, you're kind of left out in the cold, and you're kind of like, man, I need a woman. So then you go over to these bar sluts, you go over to these Tinder sluts, and they're just total sluts. And you think, well, I'm gonna fuck with these sluts then. But what you don't understand is that those sluts aren't even real sluts. They're men, they're males who, again, they're demons and fallen angels. And a lot of times, these really slutty chicks, they'll have a lot of these, like, really masculine features, and it's just really weird. They'll be having these, like, the man chins where there's a line, you can draw a line on their chin, it doesn't come to a point, and they'll be having these man-like jaws, and they'll be, you know, especially these, like, white, you know, non-human women, they be, like, big as fucking shit, they be tall as shit, and, you know, they're not really just as feminine as they really ought to be, but you just kind of overlook that shit because, you know, you want some ass. So yeah, she doesn't seem as feminine as she should be, but, you know, she's just a tomboy, it doesn't matter. Well, the thing you have to understand is real men aren't supposed to be tomboys, and real men aren't supposed to be pretty boys. And real women aren't supposed to be tomboys, okay? This whole shit with that's some shit that they told us so that we would fuck these non-humans. That's not how it actually should be. Oh, okay. Man, this college campus called SCAD in Savannah, it really just looks like a freaking prison. It's very interesting. But anyway, real men aren't supposed to be pretty boys. Real women aren't supposed to be tomboys. That's just how it is. But they've gotten us to accept this so that real humans would have sex with these, like, demons and fallen angels who just pretend to be human, but they're not. Okay? They're not. And, a lot of people have fallen for it. So these real men, they'll get these sluts or whatever, who really, they're secretly transsexual. But when I say tranny, I don't mean like, RuPaul or something like that. Like, the average person would never really be able to tell that they're a tranny. Like, for example, Rihanna. Or, or like, Jessica Simpson, or fucking, Beyonce, or someone like that. All of those people are actually trannies, okay? Look at their eyes. Their eyes are just really far apart, like mine, but they're women. It shouldn't be like that, okay? Look at their hands. They have man hands, alright? It shouldn't be like that. So when you look at Rihanna and you go, oh, she can't be a tranny, but you see her, like, really wide, far apart eyes, I mean, you'll begin to see it, alright? She's really a male who, she was made in a laboratory, and, he did all of this shit to get this male to look as close to a woman as possible, but the skeletal structure of it will still be a male, okay? I mean, you can give it long hair, and you can inject it with all this estrogen, and you can give it, like, boobs, and, try to give it soft skin and all this shit. You can do it, but the skeletal structure will still be that of a male, okay? And that's just how it is. And so, your average man isn't gonna be able to tell that a Rihanna or Tyra Banks looking woman is a fucking tranny. Like, unless he was very schooled in human anatomy. And I would challenge anyone to pick up a forensic science textbook from, like, the 1990s or earlier and just read up on male and female traits and disprove anything that I'm saying. Don't tell me that I'm tripping. Disprove it. Pick up a forensic science textbook and disprove anything I've said. And if you can't, you need to shut up. Alright? And anyway, so basically you have human beings for thousands of years, I think, have been tricked into breeding with these transsexual things that are not actual humans. And just over time, maybe, the human race has just been whittled to this point where it is now, where very few people you see on the streets are actually not trannies. And some of these trannies are more obvious than others. Some of them won't really even look like they're trannies that much unless you know what you were looking for. And then others will just look very tranny. And so if you're a real human and you're wondering where are all of these gays coming from, where are all of these transsexuals coming from, you don't know where the hell they're coming from. You're wondering what's going on. Well, this is what's going on, man. Basically, these things, they used to have to hide it. They don't have to really hide it anymore because there aren't very many real humans left. So they're just being open and blatant with it. And, it's like the days of Noah. Humanity is on its last legs. And there aren't very many real humans left, okay? It's really sad, but that's just how it is. It's how it has to be in these last days of time currently. So that's why, if you're still listening, you, real human man and woman, that's why you've never really loved any of your lovers, because all of your lovers, by and large, have been demons. And if you go out to the club, or you're really superficial when you're looking for a partner, you're probably more likely to end up with these things. Now, if you're the type of person who would, like, honestly, you know, get on your knees and you would honestly pray to God to send you someone, and, you know, it was legit, and you were an honest follower and believer in God, like, maybe God would be lucky enough to send a real human your way. And you know, for people who fit that paradigm, they probably do look back on their first kiss with warm feelings, and the first time they had sex with their partner, and, you know, it was almost this kind of, you know, Disneyland feel to it, or Walt Disney feel to it, or whatever, because they were actually with another real human. And only a real human, man and woman, can make love. Two gays or two lesbians, I'm sorry, they can't, and they don't make love. I mean, it's time we start being honest about them, alright? Most of them are just demons. You know, like, you know, the gays, I'd say probably like 98% of the gays probably just straight up demons and fallen angels, okay? Real human men don't do that shit. Seriously. As far as, you know, lesbians, you know, maybe it's not 98%, because a lot of human women, they get sucked into lesbianism. Like, you know, a lot of human women, you know, they get treated bad by, you know, demon men, fallen angel men, and they blame that on real human men. And so because of that, maybe they go lesbian or whatever. And so you might see more real women as lesbians than you would real, like, you know, men as gay people. And that's why gay men are so feminine, because they're not actual males. They're females pretending to be males, okay? So when you say, like, someone looks sweet or whatever, you know, what you're really saying is they look like a woman. Like, being gay shouldn't change your physical appearance. I'm gonna have to do a video on that. Being gay shouldn't change your physical appearance. Like, that's stupid. But somehow we know if someone looks gay. So what does that mean, if someone looks gay? If someone looks gay, what you're really saying is that they look like a female that's presenting themselves as a male. Which is to say, they look like a hermaphrodite. They look like a androgynous sexual being. They look like a tranny. That's what you're really saying when you're saying someone looks gay, okay? Because again, being gay really shouldn't change your physical appearance. That's stupid, alright? So, shit, dude. Speaking of fucking trannies, I'm driving through downtown late at night, so fuck, I just saw this fucking black, you know, trying to present itself as a black male, looking like a fucking woman with the dreads that all these, like, soulless black people wear nowadays, like, trying to look like Chief Keef and some shit. All these fucking, like, you know, black robots that just came out of nowhere. No one knows where, no one knows, like, why the hell are there so many, like, black fucking things walking around with freaking, you know, black things walking around with freaking, like, you know, dreads. Well, I mean, they're all soulless clones, and I guess there was some sort of order that went out that, you know, hey, you know, we're going to freaking, you know, make all of these new black clones have dreads and shit, and they're gonna act dumb as fuck. And that's basically what's going on. And, you know, Savannah does have some nice nightlife as far as the lights and the shit. But, you know, between the cost of it and, you know, between the cost of all this shit, I'm just sure most people here are probably just fallen angels. You know, maybe some demons with money. But, yeah, man, I don't know, maybe years ago, decades ago, there may have been a little more real humans here, but now, you know, probably like 95 or more % of these people walking around, they even human, they just whatever. But yeah, I think I've pretty much covered all that I really want to cover. Yeah, only a real man and woman, a real human man and woman can really make love. And if you're a human and you have another human partner of the opposite sex, you're very, 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 very lucky, because in these last days of time, that's just very, very rare. A lot of people just don't have that. It's very, very rare. And yeah, man, it's let's see where this road takes me. It's you must have maybe been doing something right, because a lot of people, they get pushed into this club scene, into this nightlife scene, because they want them. Like, they always tell people, you know, from high school, even kind of middle school, like, man, you gotta be getting your dick wet and all that kind of stuff, you know, fuck, and all this, like, you know, pardon my French, but, you know, we're talking about the destruction of the human race. So, I mean, that's kind of a little bit worse than, what is this? We're talking about the destruction of the human race. So, you know, it's kind of, you know, parental discretion be advised and all that kind of stuff, right? It just is what it is. But, yeah, I mean, they always tell you, have sex, you know, have sex, and sex, and all this kind of stuff. You know, because basically there are more of these non-humans than there are humans, and the more likely you are to be debaucherous and have sex, the more likely you are to basically have sex with them, the more likely you are to basically lose your soul. Okay? And, you know, it's sad that that's how this world is, but that's how the world really is. Okay? The alien invasion, quote unquote, you know, they're not the way the alien invasion is happening, they're not landing in ships or anything like that. You know, they're just fucking us. Right? And that's how they're doing it. And you have a kid, and you know, you have a kid with them, and the kid isn't gonna be a human kid, obviously. So the kid's not gonna be human, and eventually it's gonna suck the soul right out of your body. It's gonna be like a vampire draining your soul. And so, you know, you get married with one of these things. You know, your kid isn't gonna be human, and eventually it's gonna take your soul, and you know, then you're not gonna be human anymore. And that's another one. That's another one they got, right? And so, that's basically how the alien invasion, quote unquote, is being done. It's not being done through like some sort of, you know, it's not being done through some sort of like, you know, spaceships or whatever. You're just doing it through sex and through people not really being wise and having understanding and kind of figuring, hey, you know, I really ought to get to know a person really, really well before I just, you know, just try screwing them, you know. I guess that's for lame-os now. So, you know, people aren't really doing that so much. So, you know, they're just screwing around and, let me let this guy over. So they're just, screwing around and yeah, man, you know. Yeah, man, that's how the human race is being destroyed through sex. Go figure. Yeah, I see you. Anyway, you know, that's kind of like, that's my video for right now. And, you know, I hope you really enjoyed it. And, you know, I hope you really learned something. Because, you know, I basically feel like, you know, I've dedicated my life to really trying to figure out what's going on, you know, what exactly is you know, happening. There's so much weird crap. I don't know what's going on. I really want to know what's going on. I just have to know. And so I've devoted a lot of my life to just kind of figuring out all these conspiracy theories. And at the end of the rope is basically the theory that most people, or at least some people, are not human. And, you know, I jumped on it, and it turns out it was true. And, you know, I really think I've been rewarded with how to really bust these non-human creatures. So, yeah, man, that's my story. And I hope you really liked it. And I hope you really know now, if you're a real human, why you've had such a hard time actually loving your lovers. And you need to be careful. And again, people are actually being turned into clones here. Okay? People are being cloned out now. So the only way you can avoid not being cloned out really is by Christ. Okay? You need Christ. That is what you really need. If you don't have Christ, man, you're gonna get screwed up. Okay? You're really gonna get screwed up. And that basically is what it is. So, you know, I hope you like this video. I've got plenty more where that came from, you know, and please subscribe to my channel. I think I've got a lot of really great and interesting content that you're getting from an actual human being. And I say that because, you know, I'll put the Pepsi challenge out there. Show me another YouTuber who's into conspiracy theories, or really just anything, who's an actual human, and I will be impressed. I will be so impressed, okay? Show me another actual YouTuber who's an actual human. I would love to see it. Well, anyway, that's my video. See you later, guys.